Hey fellow Vault Dwellers, it's Angry Turtle and today I have for you Iron Fist build. Did you ever wanted to punch your enemies so hard without caring about the weapon that they like take 6k damage without you using any? Or 8k damage without using any weapon, just your bare power armor fists? Now you can. And as well, this video will be two parts. In second part, I want to show you evolution of this build, possible evolution with the next patch, when it will be more like cargo train, and this, in the sense how hard cargo train would hit a super mutant. Not in the sense how much it can carry, although it does carry a lot. So first, the Iron Fist build, and then the cargo train build. So that's the evolution of Iron Fist build. This is the distribution of special before application of legendary perk cards. And here are the legendary perk cards used when strength is on top of base 15, therefore only serves for providing us with extra damage, does not provide us with any extra perks. And yes, this is possibility what you can do in regards to endgame build on a Ghoul. Therefore, I will cover the stuff that's important for the build, and I will ignore the basics. I assume you know the basics, especially if you did watch my beginner Iron Fist build. Now, brick wall, so you don't get staggered, and that's important with melee. Radioactive strength, this one is very cool. At this moment, works with power armor fist attacks, and do not consume any glow when you power attack this way. So it's perfect. No glow consumption, super high damage. Incisor to increase the damage. Iron Fist does increase the damage a little bit. It's not much effect, to be honest. The food and being feral, way more important. Blocker for tankiness, Barbarian for tankiness. Number Cruncher, yes indeed, boost damage with those bare fists in power armor. Concentrated fire that just in here when you need to cripple something will be using a rifle when crippling is necessary. Tankiness, life giver, entire page for even more tankiness with some small tweaks. Solar powered is here for extra strength during the day. Then charisma just 6, boosted mutations, more damage, united ordeal if we get lucky to be on a team with a Ghoul, even more damage. A strength directly boosts our damage. Power user, in case we need to do some VATs and not worry about anything else. The science does indeed work with unarmed power attacks with power armor, assuming you do have Tesla bracers installed, as that's a must-have. Tesla bracers must have extra damage from Science Monster, Adrenaline stacking damage, and we do have here Enforcer, Modern Renegade. That's to cripple Scorch Beast and force her to land with any ballistic rifle. Under luck for tankiness, some more stuff, a little bit help with food, overall damage, faulty spots. If you will be lucky and punch a weak spot, it does count, but it's not so easy, so it's not always happening to punch a weak spot. Now the mutations and gear. There's not too much in gear category, but let's go over mutations. I do have standard, if of course you want to be feral. For extra damage, I do have all the food running. Then a reaction for killstreak damage. Burn bones to don't fall so fast in power armor. Carnivore for food that boosts our damage. You can choose to be Megavore, not necessary for this particular build. Carnivore is necessary. Eagle Eyes, that's for extra crit damage. Can be helpful for crippling. Egghead, if we do have Science, Egghead does boost effect of Science and therefore our damage. Herd Mentality, free special, Marsupial for jumping, Scully Skin tankiness, Speed Demon, movement speed, and Twisted Muscles for extra damage and limb damage. Look at the damage in the Pip-Boy. That's without any weapon equipped. A lot of energy damage. The downside of it all being energy damage, our punches do not really cripple anything. They do not cripple the target, so it doesn't do that. That's a downside. Now about the gear. The whole gear is armor. I choose to go with troubleshooters, although prefix is not important. Second star is strength that boosts our damage. Then through hiker so I can carry more food and chems with me. The star number 4 is purely tankiness, Aegis. As more tanky I am, the less I need to worry about topping up my glow. So tankiness super important. The armor itself is Union power armor. That's a Union set, as Union comes with extra poison resist. So again, tankiness very helpful for ghouls. All pieces are basically the same. All of them. The jetpack on the torso, and yes, I'm using this new paint, switchback paint from latest Atom Shop. Works perfectly as a punching build. This power armor kind of looks like it's made for punching. Of course, the paint doesn't add any damage. Strength, the same effects, and this important mod, Tesla bracers, must be installed on both of your arms. That's where the damage comes from. This 45 from one and other arm, total of 90 energy damage. And the beauty of Unarmed and how the damage scales with your strength and your perks and your food. So you're starting with 90 damage, but after everything being applied, you end up with 3k. So it's significantly boosted from 90 to 3k. So that's the damage we do have in here. Now, how it performs, I already punched some super mutants, but in case you want to see how it performs on tougher enemies, let's visit Super Mutant Behemoth. Let's visit the Behemoth. Let's see what Behemoth has to say about our punching competition. So Behemoth is using a melee weapon, the Hydrant, and I'm using nothing. I'm using my power armor. Come on, Behemoth. First, your move. So that's my tankiness. You can see with everything, I'm not really taking much damage. Look at those stats. The tankiness is here. Nothing really hits me hard. And now, how hard will I hit? I cannot really hit its head too far, but look at that. Almost killed with one punch. 2 punches, the Behemoth is down. It works great on all the bosses. I did try to punch to death Guardian EN06 in the raid. I was a little bit short. With everything boosted that was possible, I was still a little bit short to take it down before the first heat wave. With some help, 2 people could do it with just punching with power armor. Solo wasn't possible. And if you wonder, the swing speed of punches cannot be boosted. You cannot punch faster even if you add swing speed perks. That's why it's not here. And now, next step of evolution, the cargo train. So now we are on public test server for cargo train sneak peek. So what can it do? What does it mean that it's a cargo train? Look at those super mutants. See me getting experience? They are dying, and all I am doing is running around in here. They even blow up. Look at that. All I'm doing is running around, applying thousands of damage and killing everything. Keep in mind, those super mutants are way more tanky than super mutants in the live game, as they are receiving a boost. You can still punch, like it's evolution of the build, because you can still punch. It's okay to still punch, but it's not really necessary. So without going too deep into the build as its prototype, I want to focus on the changes, what will make it possible to run a cargo train build. It's based on the card paint train that have been updated a lot. So the paint train card look the same but works totally different. What it does now, when you sprint and touch enemies while sprinting, the damage count as an armed attack. So the same as punching. It counts as an armed attack. Therefore, the damage is being boosted with your strength, with your melee damage food, with being a feral ghoul, and so on. So you are able to see me just sprinting around. I'm doing over 3k damage to enemies that I do touch. And that comes from the perk itself and from the synergy with Choo-Choo's 4-star legendary mode that has been updated to give 1 rank to the paint train. And yes, those ranks go above rank 3. So with full set, I do have paint train rank 8. So my base damage is very high, and then there is additional bleed added to those attacks. Additional bleed added to those attacks, and it all stack with all the pieces. I still have the same punching. It's a different armor set, but don't look at that. That's not really important which armor set that is. Now, what else is changing? You were able to see those explosions. That's the Bloody Mess update. Bleeding enemies, and we do apply a bleed when we run, you kill, have a chance to explode for even more damage based on your luck. So they do explode, they can kill other enemies around. It's quite a cool mechanic. I was testing it here as well with Bloodluster, additional damage to bleed effects, and they do work faster. It's still work in progress, so some changes are possible. As I'm saying, that's a public test server where we are testing the cargo train possibilities of the build and going more crazy than last time, and does work. So yeah, it hits super hard. Can it be used to fight more tanky enemies like Super Mutant Behemoth? And yes, this Super Mutant Behemoth will be again way more powerful than Super Mutant Behemoth that we just defeated in the live game version. So this one is way tougher. Now if we sprint around it, look at that. See? That was the damage hit, and there is a bleed and another damage. It cannot... Oh, if its water is too deep, I cannot sprint and hit it. So let's try to lure the Behemoth out a little bit. But 2 hits of the cargo train. Already half of the health down to Super Mutant Behemoth. Now it's lobbing some rocks at us. Come on, Behemoth. And yes, the train can cripple, unlike the punching with the fist. So that's another one, and another one, and another one. There is a little bit of a delay between the hits. I don't think you can hit one target more often than once a second. So frequency of hits is the same as punching, plus minus, but way more cooler. The way more cooler way of application. How much this damage can be boosted to the full, I do not know yet. I didn't test enough, and I will be waiting closer to the final version to figure out what's the maximum possible damage that Pain Train, which is a cargo train in my case, because it combines super high carry weight with super high damage. How hard can it hit? It's hard to tell at this moment what the ceiling, but it's hitting hard enough to kill every regular enemy with one touch, without stopping, just sprinting ahead, which is beautiful. And that being said, thank you all for watching, and see you all in the next one.